countries on Wednesday are fit today, including Ruud van Nistelrooy, John O'Shea and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the other two. So it's the same 11 that saw off Spurs pretty comfortably last Sunday, with even better backup in Butt and Veron, who returned to the bench today. As you've heard, Paul Scholes was a doubt. He's been ill. He felt rotten overnight, but he does start, and you can understand the wish of Manchester United to get the in-form golden man out there to play the number 18, Paul Scholes. Charlton come to Old Trafford without their top three centre-backs, Rufus, Fish and Rowett. So Luke Young, normally a right-sided player of course, continues alongside the emerging Jonathan Fortune. And indeed it is the same 11 that got Charlton back to winning ways against Southampton last weekend, when Scott Parker, the young midfield player who's had an outstanding season, scored a splendid individual goal.
Well, the only thing you'd look at when you look at Sir Alex's side, I'm not surprised to see in Gary Neville's absence that the back four and the goalkeeper stay the same. I'm not surprised at that. The other part was, would he change what's ahead of that, Sir Alex? And we've got Scholes and Solskjaer and Giggs in these positions here. And if it works, then I think it's fine. If Ryan Giggs is having joy, Martin, and he's running in behind and he's getting joy, and sometimes when a team plays deep, he doesn't. So it'll be interesting to see. And if Ryan doesn't get any joy, don't be surprised if Sir Alex does that. Puts Ryan back on the left-hand side and then gives Van Nistelrooy a proper strike partner. That is the other option that I think we might see today. Charlton defend that deep, and there's no space in behind for Giggs to run into, then he may revert to this system. Well, Alan Curbishley, as you said, the heart of your defence has been ripped out, and he's had to go with Fortune and Young, 22 and 23 years of age. But there's a huge onus in Parker and Jensen. Scott Parker's growing reputation will be really tested today. It's a huge stage for this young lad in here, but one I think he's going to enjoy, and it's important that he and Jensen protect these two as much as possible. I think they might do a lot of defending today, and they're going to rely on the break. It might be that Yule Martin just drops in a little bit like that. They might leave Bartlett up top on his own when they don't have the ball, but when they get it, then you can expect Yule, and particularly Lesby from the right-hand side, getting up and support. But it's important when they lose the ball that they get like that. They're nice and tight and compact, and even Yule dropping off there to make life difficult for United. Frustrate them would be the word I would use for Alan Curbishley's team.
Manchester United leading the Premiership marathon into its closing stages. Still looking fresh, hoping that Arsenal have hit the wall, to use the jargon of the long-distance runners, but still aware that the race is not yet over. Well, they're ready. Charlton finished their season a year ago here with a goalless draw. A repeat today in their final away game this time around would certainly help keep the title in London. And with Chris Powell at the head of the line, some talk about possible retirement at the end of this season. He assured me yesterday that is not the case. He's just renegotiating. And they do have a big Arsenal fan in their ranks, Charlton. It is this fella, Jason Ewell, a big Arsenal fan, certainly a goal threat for Charlton today. Well, will this be the weekend that decides the destiny of the Championship? Whatever happens, it starts here at Old Trafford, where Manchester United play for the final time this season. The would-be champions against Charlton Athletic. It's live right after the...
The race for the title brings us to Old Trafford. It's Manchester United and Charlton today. Tomorrow we go to Highbury, of course. Arsenal meet Leeds then. Sky Digital viewers wish to go interactive, push the red button on the remote control. You'll find Fan Zone there amongst other options. Stuart Aspinall and Mark Goss commentating today. Player cam for the first 15 minutes, Paul Scholes, who is in form. Commentators, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Manchester United generally approached their penultimate match in good shape. They played very well at Tottenham last time out. The only points they have dropped since February came at Highbury in that draw. That meant Arsenal dropped the same amount and maybe just dropped their heads a little as well. Been some overnight rain, Mark Halsey, the referee who red-carded Sol Campbell against Manchester United just 2.5 weeks ago. Charlton will now finish in one of the 6 places between 8th and 13th. That means their campaign has been a success. If United don't regain the championship, that will be deemed a failure, particularly from this position. Such different levels of expectation. How will they match up here? Ferdinand's header, South London boy, of course, against the South London club. Forward by Chris Powell. And wing on by Bartlett, who wasn't involved with South Africa in midweek. He's had a bit of an altercation with the federation there. Whether we'll see him for the South Africans against England later this month remains to be seen. We're certainly seeing Roy Carroll playing his 9th Premiership game of the season. One more and he qualifies for a medal should Manchester United win the trophy. And Ryan Giggs moving in here for some early fruit for them. Comes back out to Solskjaer. Goes down by Lisby. He'd rather be playing up front, I'm sure, but he's got a job to do wide on the right.
Oh, shades of White Hart Lane, Mark, in the opening minute of the game, and almost the opening goal for Manchester United.
Ewell. Here's Powell. Franceschi. Now Klaus Jensen. And slipping. And Scholes nips it. It's definitely the support striker to Van Nistelrooy in these early minutes, where he has been playing, of course, a lot recently. I think Charlton will be quite relieved about that, Andy, because Kishishev, they don't regard as perhaps their best right-back in a 4. He's needed there. But he's got maybe less of an individual threat from Solskjaer at the moment.
And Kevin Lisby in front of him, Mark. I'm not so sure how good Kevin is at really protecting his full-back, but I'm sure it's something that Sir Alex and his staff will be looking at. It's an area of the pitch where they feel if they can get Giggs one-on-one, they may switch it.
They've got Giggs linking up with Van Nistelrooy through the middle here. Janssen should get it away. Dane from Dutchman. And here's Parker, who's had a season to look back on with great pride, and including being in an England squad against Australia in February. Lisby, that's what he likes to do, is impress in the attacking half of the pitch.
Skipper in the right spot again there. Notice that, Martin. Only a little sense of danger, middle of goal there. Keane just filled the gap. Wasn't a very good tackle from John O'Shea. Rather let Lisby walk through him.
Ferdinand trying to get Manchester United onto the front foot. Usual speculation about David Beckham. Could this be his last match as a Manchester United player at Old Trafford? We've said so often, his heart is in this football club. It's his ball to Van Nistelrooy. Suspicion the ball bounced up and struck an arm, then he goes to ground. A fortune with the defender who got tight, maybe a little bit too tight.
I think you can do that. He'll be anxious to get tight to Van Nistelrooy, not allow him to turn and go at him. And even this just might be a little far for David Beckham to take on direct let go, but he's got plenty of players he can aim for, plenty of targets and red shirts. But you never know with this boy.
Newell heads away. Brown. He's taken off Tottenham to involve Gary Neville, but reclaimed the place through Neville's injury. Out comes Dean Kiley, who's a Manchester-born goalkeeper.
Good take.
Moved away to the Midlands while he was still at primary school, but came back to this part of the world to play for Bury. With determination against Roy Keane. He'll need bundles of that, of course. Powell. I do like this diagonal up to the head of Bartlett and get players supporting like Lisby.
Well, he's a threat, Bartlett. what do you say about Sean Bartley's got very, very good spring. And if he's a natural outlet for that diagonal, then why not use him? But when they do that, it's important you get support players with them. They did there. You can see Yule making the ground, Lisby, Jensen, they're all making ground. We all know what's coming, so we're almost on the move before Powell's played the ball. I just feel it's twofold for Manchester United today. Win the game, priority number one for his side. And I don't know, Martin, I just have a sneaky feeling we might be counting goals at the end of the season. And Sir Alex might feel that as well. So it would be after winning the game or making sure they win the game. It's try and win it as well as possible.
Sylvestre. I think getting in front of Powell. Nicklin took it on the chest. Parker trying to emphasise the point here. Charlton believe they want to do more than just make up the numbers. They've got their own agenda. The difference between 13th and 8th is some £2.5 million in prize money.
It's a great game for Charlton players to play in, Martin. Absolutely no pressure at all. To come to Old Trafford, get the ball down, enjoy a day out and express themselves. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for them. Pressure is on the home side to win the game.
Luke Young did have a few games in his Tottenham days as a central defender. Here's Ewell. Belly too long, maybe he feels he should have got a call. Scholes stepped in. Under the weather or not, he's begun with a typical brightness. Again, Parker breaks it up though. Krzyzewski, who did play for England in that game when Parker was in the squad. Powell, of course, has been backed by Sven-Göran Eriksson as well. Ewell, who can be one of the more dangerous raiders in the Premier League. So it's not all cut and dried here for Manchester United. If they're going to get a win, they're going to have to earn it.
I think that's the beauty of Paul Scholes and Scott Parker there. Other side of the referee, Alan Kirby's on the track. He's not happy with that tackle. You watch it here, Martin. This is probably where the referee sees it from. You see, he goes in and he wins the ball, and then Paul Scholes comes in a little late. He certainly catches Scott Parker. I think, to be fair to Mark Halsey, he didn't do the best view of it. Alan Kirby had a better one. He wasn't impressed with the Charlton manager.
Well, Mark Halsey obviously didn't see that as clear cut as he saw what happened to Sol Campbell down at Highbury. Luckily for player and referee, the damage doesn't look lasting. Parker's back on. Now the number 7, David Beckham. Is it wide? O'Shea happy to get forward. Solskjaer loops it in. Falls just behind Beckham. Brown having to play on the retreat, forced back by Parker's energy levels. Heads on. Just get it here now. Sylvestre beats him to it. The best ball up to Van Nistelrooy, but he's made something of it with his strength and his determination. Beckham curling it awkwardly for Luke Young, and Van Nistelrooy's going strong again.
Luke Young was desperate to go out, Martin, but such was the check and spin that David Beckham put on the pass. It just sat up. It was never going to run out.
It's up again well. Clubs recently met here at youth level in the semi-final of the Youth Cup, and a Charlton connection with that. Youth team defender Osei Sankofa is a first-team substitute today. That would be something, wouldn't it, to be played twice at Old Trafford in a couple of weeks. He gets on for what would be a Premiership debut. He was a substitute not used against Southampton last weekend. Charlton needed that win. They'd rather fallen away after a great run of results earlier in the year and put them safe from relegation. Just 1 point from 7 games was a real drop in standards. Alan Kirbysley was tearing his hair out. But it does happen for the side for whom staying up equals success. Once they've got there, we sometimes get a backlash. It's not just Charlton that have shown that in recent years. Giggs. Keane couldn't quite take it with him, but he hasn't given it up yet. Konchesky comes out to Scholes.
Well, it's made for him. I think the only surprise is the form he's in, but it doesn't work the goalkeeper. I think they'd be better letting this run, Roy Keane, but he just gets caught on his left foot. But it's there for the young lad. Oh, I keep saying young lad. It looks like he's never aged since he came into the side. Paul Scholes, doesn't he? 28 years of age.
He's been 28 for a while, unlike David Beckham, who reached that mark only yesterday. He's nearly 30 now. And Scott Parker like Ryan Giggs to experience fatherhood. Parker's happy event just in a couple of weeks' time. Giggs has been playing out of his skin since he's become a dad. But, responsibility recognised, another mouth to feed. Oh, here's Beckham, deflection, goal. It's all going Manchester United's way.
Well, it's a classic example of a player waiting, Chris Powell, and someone more attack-minded attacking it, Martin. They make a bit of a mess of it when it comes across, but this one they could deal with it after that. That can be dealt with, but it's here. You watch Powell, he's rather hesitant. Beckham wasn't. I mean, 3 times Chris Powell's involved in this, and 3 times it doesn't go his way. He must have thought, I've done a decent job, I've got something on it. I've reacted, I've got back in, but David Beckham hits the target, and the deflection takes it past the stranded goalkeeper. Definitely the start that Manchester United wanted.
And not Chris Powell's perfect start. O'Shea heads back. More decisive left-back work. But it's David Beckham's goal nonetheless. And there haven't been many of those for him in Premiership football. It's his first in the league at Old Trafford since New Year's Day. And it needed a bit of help from an opponent to beat Dean Kiley as well.
Well, it'll be interesting now. Nothing like an early goal to relieve pressure, Martin.
Well, the goal's on here for Jensen! It's 1-1! And suddenly the world turns on its head for Roy Carroll. For Manchester United.
Why is it football extraordinary? I was just about to say goal will relax Manchester United. It's an awful situation because Roy Keane wins the ball here and he's so keen to get it back to his goalkeeper. Roy Carroll had a little go at his captain and said, well, it was a bad ball, but in all honesty it wasn't that bad a ball. It's comfortable, it's on the goalkeeper's right side, just clear it. He makes a complete mess of it, but top marks to Klaus Jensen. Assesses it quickly. Empty net. Goodness me.
Jensen scored a fantastic goal against Manchester United at the Valley earlier this season. They put Charlton in front, but they lost in the end 3-1. It was a late rally by Sir Alex's team down in London that day. But, well, it's the sucker punch, isn't it? You're not just going to win a game here, you're going to win a championship. And the lead is tossed away in the most careless manner. All credit to Jensen, there never seemed any danger that he would miss.
No.
From Charlton's point of view, it went to the right man. Kept his cool, certainly had the technique. He might not be keeping his cool. And Roy Carroll, who mentioned earlier, still needs 1 appearance, 1 game to come, of course, to qualify for a medal. He might have put that appearance in jeopardy.
Less than 2 minutes between the goals, Martin. It is a cat error in football, isn't it, to be sloppy like that when you've just got in the lead. It's such an important game for Manchester United in particular. It's been like this championship race. It's been fascinating. And Bolton showed last week that you just cannot take anything for granted in this league. I think it's this sort of thing that does make it the best in the world, and people might argue it. But you don't get an easy ride anywhere in this league.
For value for money, entertainment, Andy, there is no argument. It is the best. That's as it stands, as he stands. Still trying to take in what has happened to the end of the ground that Manchester United are defending in this first half, in this first 15 minutes. This pal will be feeling a bit better about life. Jensen. It's his own player Bartlett got in his way, allowed Beckham to win it back. Here's Giggs. Manchester United trying to get on the move again. Got Solskjaer coming from the left. Giggs wants it back. Can't quite get it back. Good turn of foot by Luke Young.
Plus lack of pace in the pass. I mean, that was the only thing lacking there. Giggs did his job great, fed him and then went in behind Young.
And now Giggs just reflecting and standing offside as the ball was played. Switching to Scott Parker of Charlton in the engine room of the match. Can access that for Sky Digital viewer. Find the red button on the remote. Fischer-Chef. Lisby. Sylvestre. Young's header. Header on by Parker, then by Giggs. Charlton's throw. Manchester United led for less than 2 minutes. I think that Manchester United paid a lot of money, over £2 million for Roy Carroll. He's still got 2 more years on his contract. He feels he's coming through a learning period at the club. Talking about wanting to be considered as a contender should Barthez go, which does seem a little bit more than a possibility now. Yes, Parker made a run through the middle that wasn't tracked. Fortunately for Manchester United, the ball didn't get there.
A real chance. Well, they've done well. I mentioned the 2 central midfield players of Charlton. Said there was a huge onus on them to stop Manchester United, make life difficult. They've done a pretty good job of that, but they've also been a threat themselves.
Well, Carroll's let off because the assistant Martin Short has flagged.
He's obviously given a free kick
Foul by Beckham.
Well, I have to say that's a rather generous decision. Just have no idea what the linesman saw there.
A slip by Kylie as he kicked. Not enough distance into it and wasn't out of his own goal as he picked himself up. So it is lush. There has been overnight rain to slick the surface up. Ferdinand.
That's part of that job, Mark, I'm talking about. If they're going to feed balls into that Manchester United, then it's important that Jensen and Parker get themselves in front of the pass, break it up before it even gets to the front people.
Fischer-Chef. Parker's there again. Help it on to Powell. Fischer-Chef is a real steady Eddie for Alan Kirbishley. Young looking for the head of Bartlett again. Scholes. Solskjaer giving width on the left. It's coming deep. Sheringham like to get the ball in that halfway position where he can turn and run at defenders, deliver the cross. Oh, Kylie didn't deal with it straight up when he might have done. Where's he off to? Well, he's trying to get Bartlett away. All the fun of the fair from the 2 goalkeepers so far.
Well, he did enough. At least when he cleared it way into the opponent's half.
O'Shea. And Mr. Rowe did very well to force himself in front of Fortune. Solskjaer. The goalkeeper's got it, and it's stopped this time.
Well, maybe a more instinctive player than Ryan Giggs would have gone in behind Ruud van Nistelrooy. Well, the back of his heels a little there as that ball was fed in.
Scholes. Giggs on the move again, and Nistelrooy comes to the ball to feet. Looking with him, Young. They played their way around Luke Young. He's still with the dogged determination, got a challenge in. Back come Manchester United with Solskjaer. It's Kishishev who deals with the danger this time, firmly. Jensen. Ewell prepared to drop in to help midfield from time to time. He's rather a bit isolated, but you can understand why Charlton might need that extra man on occasion. Powell. A very absorbing opening 20 minutes at Old Trafford, in which there's been a goal for Manchester United and a reply from Charlton Athletic. Ferdinand. Sylvestre had a few minutes for France against Egypt on Wednesday. Giggs. And I think by and large Sir Alex Ferguson got his message to the international managers that he didn't want to see too many of his players playing for their countries. And the days leading up to this vital weekend, John O'Shea missed out on a cap on his birthday. 22 last Wednesday, and the Solskjaer not in that Norway team that the Republic of Ireland beat. Charlton on the other hand had Jensen playing, Kishishev played for Bulgaria. Jensen with Denmark, of course. Here is Solskjaer. Good block by Young.
It's been quite a good avenue for Manchester United. Got right side of Charlton's defence with Lisby and Kishishev there, Martin. It's been an area where they've explored quite well, Manchester United, without finding the final ball from there.
Well, on paper it will be harder on this side because they've got two England left backs, Konchesky and Chris Powell, but it has been a nervous beginning by the more experienced of that duo. Here's Ewell. And Konchesky. Bartless in the middle. Ewell's continued his run. Both disappointed. The cross didn't come from Paul Konchesky. Beckham. A warning by the crowd that Konchesky was to get back at him. Konchesky now apologising to the two strikers that he didn't deliver.
Well, there's a confidence here about Charlton at the moment. You can see it. They're pushing players forward. They're happy to commit 4 or 5 players into an attack, and in many ways that might help Manchester United.
Well, yet again, Alan Kirvish is pushing back the frontiers with Charlton Athletic. In the top 10, desperately wants to finish there. How much more he can do for the club remains to be seen. He must be still on many of other clubs' managerial wanted lists when vacancies become available. Charlton Athletic appreciate him. Beckham has stayed down there. Mark Horsey, I think, played an advantage. Scholes. He was stayed upfield this time and was the target. Couldn't link up with Jensen.
The break on there, wasn't it?
Beckham. Solskjaer got infield of Kishishev. Trying to guide it down. Giggs. O'Shea. Giggs again. Went a long way and Fortune didn't clear his area. Back by Giggs. Here's Scholes. Not an easy one to strike. Not an easy one for Kylie to take. Fortune has headed it into his own net, but the whistle had gone. To spare John Fortune the sort of embarrassment that Roy Carroll had a few minutes ago.
Well, the whistle's always going to go, isn't it? David Beckham shakes his head as if to say the eyes on the ball. I went, I jumped for it. Does the goalkeeper get very far off the ground? Not really, Martin.
Good finish.
Doesn't the game change a lot? Anyone who goes anywhere near the goalkeeper now, invariably, whistle goes.
But being off the ground is the protection, isn't it, really? And didn't really see it on that angle whether he was, but anyway, it's gone for Charlton, the decision. Here's Giggs. We should point out again, the men missing: Richard Rufus, Mark Fish, Gary Rowett, who certainly has been a first-choice defender when fit, which hasn't been very often this season. And those three alone, Alan Kirbishley could have put out a back three against Manchester United today, which he would have felt more comfortable with maybe than the four that he's left with. No disrespect to these players, but more the backup. In this case, coming out of position. Beckham's limping a little bit. Lisbeth, whose role has been switched today from where he would be more likely used. But this was the team that beat Southampton last weekend. Parker. Ewell.
Arsenal got hammered last week for a pretty inept performance against Manchester United at home. Certainly couldn't be levelled at Charlton, could it, in the opening 25 minutes of this match?
Tottenham got hammered.
Tottenham. Charlton have been bang at it today.
Parker. Now Scholes. Considered clearance by Carroll this time. Ferdinand. Charlton drop off. Ferdinand certainly goes off. Solskjaer straying from the left-hand side, really for the first time.
Just be interesting to see if they've changed, Martin. Sir Alex has said to Giggs, I want to go and play lefties for a bit.
It's Giggs who whips to the cross. Beckham coming in. Powell did very well this time. Here's a corner, and sorry, Andy, I did point out last week Manchester United haven't scored a Premiership goal all season from a corner. Beckham takes. Score from this one. Over 250 attempts. Most corners in the Premiership. Furious return. Silvestre. He didn't know that, Charlie Phillips, did he? When we pointed it out to him at Tottenham after the game, he just said, we're very poor at corners. They were poor at clearing their lines here, but Klaus Jensen was brilliant at taking his chance.
See that? It's not the worst back pass I've seen. It's a fantastic finish from Jensen. But there'll be no reaction too much. The fans aren't very pleased, but there ain't much he hasn't seen in the game.
That was astonishing, wasn't it? To see the change of the faces from all those around him.
Well, you see, I think, Arsene Wenger's reaction to losing a couple of goals last week. The one thing you know, there's an awful lot of time left in the game when that ball went in.
Ewell. Jensen. We've got 5 coming forward here. Ferdinand intercepts it, Bartlett's there. And Jensen trying to regain possession, stopped by Keane. Solskjaer's back on the left. Giggs still very much through the middle. They combine. Bit of luck involved as well. Young gets it away though. Picked up by O'Shea. And two a bit slow coming back for Charlton, Jensen in particular. Solskjaer. Giggs. Now Roy Keane. Space to move into. Charlton need a challenge. Keane, and they get one from Parker. And they get another from Parker. Beckham heads on. Fortune's winding himself up for the clearance, and he gets it away just in the nick of time from Ruud van Nistelrooy. And Parker's in again, despite the fact that he picked himself up the first time. I think he was a bit jarred from his earlier endeavours. Scholes. Keane. Beckham. Bit of a stumble there by Beckham. Chesky just puts it out.
Well, it hasn't happened often in the opening half hour that Charlton are pretty much camped at the minute. We've got everyone back behind the ball.
Super movement by Scholes. Made up Beckham's mind for it. Charlton thought that was their throw. O'Shea. Will be defending well. Chef taking a bit of a risk. And Lisby should get a bit of length into it. Not much though. Keane. Yeah, has a pot himself. And Manchester United have a corner with a third of the game gone. Direct route, but Charlton didn't clear it as it dropped, and Van Nistelrooy hooked it home.
Well, two things: keeping the ball in there, and Van Nistelrooy's sharpness. Just watch him react, Martin. Back to goal, coming out from in front of the goalkeeper. It's a great position, but he still gets so much to do. But he turns, and look at the punches he gets in the shot. This is past Kelly before he can react. Look at that. It's near the goalkeeper, but such is the power of the shot. You can't get anywhere near it. Normal service resumed for that man.
Well, his run goes on. He's now scored in 9 consecutive Manchester United games, 11 matches in a row, including internationals. He didn't play for Holland in midweek. It's 7 games in a row in the Premiership that he's scored in. He's only one shy of his own record, which he set up last season. Manchester United, most importantly, Ruud van Nistelrooy recognised that lead again.
So do we give them that first goal from that corner? I don't think we can.
No, I don't think technically it will be given as such. It was the second ball, if you like, wasn't it? It matters not a jot to Manchester United, who have 100 different ways of scoring. Many of them involving this fella.
Well, it came in the spell with Manchester United for about 5 minutes, Martin, had Charlton pinned.
Well, that could have been a direct. First from Scholes, it was just too high from him, and then John O'Shea coming in behind. It would be an enormous lead to secure, but it wouldn't win the title. 8 points ahead.
I think that right-hand side column might just be a key one by a week tomorrow, Mr. Tyler.
Lisby. Here's Jensen. Lisby on the chase. Ferdinand in front of him. And Carl winding himself up, and it's a good ball up to Solskjaer. Get another goal before half-time for Manchester United, and their work today could really be done. And this could be it, because it's Solskjaer. Oh. Comes out to O'Shea. Charlton on the rack. Van Nistelrooy. Scholes set up for Keane. Corner. It is a corner. Kylie just had to stand and look whether it was going outside the post or inside the Republic of Ireland colleagues, although Kylie's now retired, of course, from the international scene.
Hits it well enough. It's probably gone straight down the goalkeeper's throat, but it certainly would have worked him.
Brought out by Jensen. Roy Keane, of course, has given up on his country as well, hasn't he? He's not given up on his club. Look at this, he's read the dangers. Happiness regained for the Manchester United fans. League is within touching distance, they feel. The lead is back in home hands here.
Yeah, there's no doubt the equaliser rattled Manchester United, Martin. I thought they'd gone on at 1-0 and done what they're doing now. Control the ball, control the game, squeeze Charlton back, ask question after question. But the goal put paid to that, the equaliser, but...
They're doing it on Mr. Rowe this time. Lisbon.
Well, watch this for a move, Martin. Two things, you watch the touch there of Scholes, absolute sublime, and then the vision in the pass. And this is a ridiculous shot to take on, absolutely ridiculous. But when you look at it, he probably doesn't have an option. So close to a wonderful finish from Solskjaer.
He's hurt Charlton before, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's got 4 goals in 5 previous appearances against Alan Kirbish's team. Premiership Plus, Channel 433, you can see Southampton against Bolton, of course. Bolton still not out of the wood. That's 5 o'clock today. Pay-per-view offering from the Premier League. Solskjaer's great header on Van Nistelrooy. He's got another one. He has got another one. It's 3-1 here. Manchester United will feel that is the day done after some early difficulties in this first half.
Lovely goal, great ball, lovely flick, and then yet again the reaction to this man, Martin, are extraordinary. Watch this. Who reacts first and quickest? Look at that. I mean, he's so quick. Look at Fortune, he doesn't know what he's doing. He tries to turn the big defender, he goes to ground, he hasn't got the balance that Van Nistelrooy has. He hasn't got the awareness. Look how quickly, as a striker, he turns and reacts in such composure when he gets there. He knows he has a picture of everything, even though it's happening quickly, to do that.
Well, his 100th game already well and truly marked. He's taken his tally of Manchester United goals to 78. He is Ruud van Nistelrooy. Giggs, given their defensive shortcomings today.
Well, they've just changed it.
It'll be a long last 55 minutes or so for Charlton.
They've just changed it. Like we talked about it, now there's 2 options that this formation gives, or this group of players gives Sir Alex, and that's Giggs left or inside, Solskjaer the same. Started with Solskjaer, but it's noticeable in the last 5-6 minutes of this match, just prior to the goal, he shifted Solskjaer inside. That's where the flick came from. And Giggs has got the pace and the running ability to really trouble Kishishev. We saw that there moments ago.
And it all fell into place for Ruud van Nistelrooy. Kylie came, Fortune slipped, Powell couldn't get there. Van Nistelrooy, perfectly balanced, as you said, had a total picture of what was required, delivered it impeccably, and hasn't that been the story of his season?
For half hour this was a game.
John Hicks from Blakely, please report to the nearest unit.
course, Marco van Basten certainly got it in him to achieve what all Van Basten did in the game. Here come Manchester United again.
Oh, if we'd only seen John O'Shea, he made a fantastic run, the fullback. And Ryan Giggs had dragged everyone infield, but look at the appetite from Giggs there, Martin. He lost the ball, but his reaction to retrieve it is fantastic.
Franceschi. Parker. Ewell. Giggs has given it away to Kishishev. Parker and Jensen desperately trying to give the back four some protection, but they're swarming all over Charlton, Manchester United now. With the second goal, the stimulus. Ewell, Bartlett get up, here he does.
Ferdinand had no chance of making an impact there. Really, Wes Brown's got to be round when Bartlett pulls on the shoulder like that. He's got to see the situation develop. He's got to get himself into a position he can defend it better. You can see Rio Ferdinand backing away and backing away. He was never getting the challenge in.
Giggs. Our guest, one of our guests tomorrow, the great George Best. Arsenal leads, Sky Sports 1, slightly later time because of big events in the Nationwide First Division, which comes to a finale tomorrow. 3:30, Sky Sports 1. I'm sure you'll be watching your football on Sky long before that, and I hope you'll be with us for the entire day. Could be a very, very significant one. Dennis Law, we understand, isn't here today, but his record is it in some jeopardy now. 46 goals. I don't know how long Sir Alec will allow Ruud van Nistelrooy to stay on in this game, particularly if Manchester United score again before half-time, so looking to do here. Parker. Throw forward by Kishishev, trying to drop it over Keane, who's again seen where the point of danger. No wonder John O'Shea can push on, can't he? Because he knows that Roy Keane will read the play behind him and he's never going to be embarrassed. Out of his position at left back. And it was, of course, Keane filling in at right back that wittingly led to the equaliser. Carroll kicks straight to Klaus Jensen. Franceschi. Ferdinand wriggles clear. There's a bit of a party mood around the Manchester United faithful at the moment, but what happens even if Manchester United win this at a canter, if Arsenal win tomorrow, if Arsenal win on Wednesday, and Everton need to win next Sunday at home to Manchester United? It's not done and dusted, is it? This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Fortune slid it away, helped out his centre-back partner Luke Young.
I think if United can get at the two young lads at the back, Martin, their inexperience in this level and as a partnership, really, he might just be able to expose it a bit. Well, he might hit that first time on his right side, Solskjaer. It sat there lovely to hit.
O'Shea. Parker, did he have his arms raised? He's put a hand to his face. There's a little bit of kidology. He's got away with it if it was handball.
No, I think the arms were up.
Oh, there's a ball on here for Parker for the fleet of foot Lisby, but well read by Wes Brown.
The ball was always played defender side, though, Martin. Nothing around the other side.
Lisby,
Gives Lisby a chance then.
Yes, the sort of ball that gave Ronaldo a chance early here for Real Madrid was maybe more of what was required. Must be still furthest forward. Scholes, no sign of his illness. O'Shea is surely due to get a goal sooner rather than later for Manchester United. Scholes. Now Lisbon. He's still the furthest forward, but Fischer trying to help. Jansen's gone on a run from midfield. Ferdinand across. Added time before half-time at Old Trafford. One added minute. Giggs. They got 4 in the first half against Newcastle recently. Brown. O'Shea's there again. Let's have another look at that piece of defending by Scott Parker. Was it handy for Charlton?
Well, he comes in and he doesn't quite get the header in there, but again he reacts very quickly. And, well, it'd have been a supremely harsh penalty. I think it strikes him on the right arm. But all he's doing here, Parker, is he's coming to press the ball. The arm goes up in front of the face more, I think, in protection than anything.
Yes. A little bit of byplay with the Manchester United fans when he rubbed his face afterwards.
I think if that had caught him in the chin, it might have just floored him.
David Beckham with a deflection gave Manchester United an early lead, and then Manchester United had a bit of a defensive catastrophe, particularly for goalkeeper Roy Carroll, who kicked out straight to Klaus Jensen, who returned with interest 1-1, and it was a nervy sort of 20 minutes or so until Ruud van Nistelrooy restored the smiles with 2 trademark goals. 3-1 to Manchester United at half-time.
The opposite.
You tried to sound biased.
3-1 up, you've been very nice, I think.
Sean Bartlett, player cam for the first 15 minutes of this second half. Push the red button on the remote control, follow the instructions. You'll also find Fan Zone there. Our commentators, Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thanks, Richard. There's a subplot here involving the Golden Boot Award. Ruud van Nistelrooy with his 2 goals in the first half, 23 in the Premiership this season. He's now level with James Beattie of Southampton. And incidentally, Barclaycard, the sponsors of the league, will add £1,000, multiply by £1,000 the number of goals for the leading scorer, and put that to the scorer's charity of choice. It's a fine gesture.
It is.
Scholes. Here's Keane. So that's really a case, Andy, of Manchester United just keeping their concentration here.
I would think so. I said right at the beginning it was twofold for me, the game today for Manchester United. One was to secure the win. I think when you look at the records, only Newcastle have scored 3 goals against Manchester United here, and that in a 5-3 defeat. So you would think that Sir Alex would feel that the win has been secured. Now it's a matter of, I think, trying to extend that lead, trying to get more goals, trying to improve the goal difference, just in case.
Yes, the mathematics are, of course, if Manchester United win this and win at Everton next Sunday, the goals don't come into it, but we've been around long enough to know that it isn't always as simple as that.
Well, I wondered how they start Sir Alex's side at the second half with Solskjaer start left or Giggs. He's sticking with Giggs left side. I think he does feel that Kishishev might be susceptible to Giggs' pace, Martin.
I think Charlton feel that as well. Brown, Beckham. Here's the Charlton goal scorer, Klaus Jensen. He was offside. There was some European punishment on Thursday for Sir Alex to take on the chin, but maybe domestic pleasure is close at hand. Van Nistelrooy. Solskjaer letting it run. And Parker, even in a losing cause, can enhance his reputation here. Bartlett. Keane. Beckham. Brown. And this throw just waiting. Young wasn't. Charlton's last game, incidentally, is at home to Fulham. They were bottom of the Premiership in October, largely as a result of losing their first 4 home games, one of which was against Manchester United. That's what I mean about losing concentration, Andy. That's
sloppy, isn't it?
Rio Ferdinand might be thinking he was floating a ball in behind the back line, but there was no one on his wavelength.
I just think the man who's nodding the ball back to Wes Brown there, Roy Keane, I just don't think he's a kind of player and the kind of captain that would allow any of the players on the pitch and his side to get sloppy.
Scholes, Keane, on to Giggs. Again, that's just a bit fancy, really. Lisby. Maybe the best thing that can happen to Manchester United was for Charlton to score again. It's probably stretching a point, but you know what I mean. Get them at it. Sylvestre. His header only drops for Ewell. Remember, he's an Arsenal fan. In there again. Scholes lets it run. Crowd aren't happy. Parker. Taking Manchester United on, trying to work with Bartlett, but it was very tight, but Bartlett didn't give it up. Ewell towards Bartlett. It was still really repositioning rather than being set to fight for a header. Jensen. Lisby. Kishishev makes a run. It's back to Jensen. He's got 3 to try and pick out in the centre. Carroll picks out the ball. And then picks out Beckham. He gives it away to Powell. Ewell. And this is Konchesky. Didn't think about cutting in himself. He could have perhaps forced himself across the line of David Beckham's run then.
Well, might have done something better than that. Really did nothing in the end, having made a good run. Well, he'll be keeping his eye on this Manchester United manager. I don't think it's quite the start of the second half he expected. 5 minutes of pretty indifferent stuff at the moment.
They can, of course, throw that magical switch. They've been doing so often. Their goals have been so easy for Manchester United to come by, or they've made it look so easy. And here's Solskjaer.
He was never looking across goal. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer here. They do get narrow, but he's onside. You can see that Kevin Lisby, the widest of all. But what a good position Paul Scholes has got back post for anything. Just flashed across the face. You can see he's looking for a goal. Scholes. I've got that impression early on this half. He's been really advanced in Manchester United attacks.
O'Shea. And Nistelrooy. Be surprised if he becomes complacent. His ball probing enough to make Powell concede the corner. Presence of Solskjaer certainly helped Manchester United. It's the Beckham outswinger again. Here's Keane. Beckham has a touch, has a look, and then returns once he came.
Might have been a first time cross required there from David Beckham. Time he took the touch, ball was pretty close to him.
O'Shea going towards the near post, making the first run. Scholes got rather crowded out where the ball dropped. Jensen didn't react to that quite as quickly as Silver. 100 games for Manchester United, marked in the grand manner.
I have to say I'm on that once. Fantastic crossfield pass from David Beckham. He looks up, he sees his front man, and look at this. Touch and hit, exactly what's required. Unerring accuracy in the finish. It's a stunning hat-trick. Absolutely top class. Just gets better and better.
24 Premiership goals. He is out in front. 43 goals for Manchester United this season, just 3 shy of the club record, which looked as though it was set for all time when, well, Dennis Law, you go back to 1964 when he achieved that mighty number.
And you have to say, Martin, that having watched what we did at White Hart Lane last week, we could have been past it by now. The chances he had in that game.
He's been ruthless today.
Yeah. I mean, that's normal service today. I mean, at White Hart Lane, it was rather wasteful for him. 4 or 5 excellent chances before he scored, maybe more. But today, it's been 3 out of 3.
And it's 4-1 to Manchester United. Better and better for Van Nistelrooy. More important still, better and better for the goal difference. And Charlton just got to stick it out now. They were beaten 6-1, of course, recently at home by one of the struggling clubs, Leeds United.
Yeah, that's the thing you look at now. You're looking at Charlton, that's what Alan Kirby should be looking at. Do his side just roll over and get picked apart, or do they dig in and make life difficult as they possibly can?
Be a great life being a manager, particularly at this level, but not in Alan Kirbishley's seat at the moment. And here's Scholes, his team, Alan's team that is, can't get the ball away, and rather stabs him across, as you pointed out at Tottenham. He's not in Gary Neville's class really in that side of his game, but he's got plenty of other excellent attributes. The England defender. Van Nistelrooy.
Well, he can do what he likes, and the crowd just love it. But I'm sure there's once or twice his teammates go, "You're brilliant, Wood," but every now and again, mate. But how can you fault him? How can you fault him? Just watch this. The first touch is so good, that's what allows him just to concentrate on the shot. People will argue, near post, Dean Kiley might have done better. Sometimes it struck so fiercely, it's past you.
Van Nistelrooy still trying to keep the tempo up. Look at that. Now that's what Van Basten used to do. He never rested on his laurels. And remember, Ruud van Nistelrooy has come back to this level from a year out with injury. It's the second full season since that, an injury that would have finished a lesser character. The strong men get through it, like Shearer. And Van Nistelrooy is in that category. Good pressure here by Lisby, and Charlton have a corner. Their first corner of the afternoon. They're 4-1 down at Old Trafford. Jensen takes it. To number 24s for tussling for that. And Wes Brown just edged it away from Jonathan Fortune. Young on the near post. Ball actually bent out before Carroll had to make the catch. Goal kick. Looking beyond the next week or so, the goalkeeping situation, something for Manchester United to address, Andy.
Well, I think if you look at the side and the squad of players that Sir Alex has here, Martin, you'd think you'd have to concede that midfield area looks pretty solid and pretty strong. The one area where there's been a doubt has been that area you talked about with Fabian Barthez and Roy Carroll. There has been questions in the last couple of weeks, particularly since the exit from Europe, about the French goalkeeper. I think that is an area that the Manchester United manager will look to strengthen, and also support for Ruud van Nistelrooy. I think that those would be the two areas, if you look at this Manchester United side, that Sir Alex would look at first to try and strengthen.
Well, they talk about his standards slipping, but you wouldn't level that at Roy Keane in recent weeks. He might be feeling the pain of wear and tear down the years, all he's put in, and I know Brian Robson, our studio guest, went through it, and it has to finish someday, even for the truly outstanding captain.
I mean, I was absolutely astounded at the criticism that was levelled at Roy Keane. I think I've said to you before, for the simple reason that you cannot come into the side in the middle of a season. Roy's only playing his 18th Premiership game. Only 18 starts he's had. So he's probably in the last couple of games, 2 or 3 games, feels as fit as he's ever felt. And that takes time, and it takes a little longer when you're 31 years of age. But to suggest that Roy Keane was a spent force was absolutely ridiculous.
Beckham. It's kind of a nice game to play in if you're feeling the pace of it as well. If you're in the Manchester United shirt, they are very much the bosses here today.
And the ball never gets tired, does it? That's what they say in football.
And Nistelrooy, Marcus didn't quite read that. Hasn't given up on it. O'Shea. Parker. Winston still trying to play classy football through midfield, an area in which his team are not bossing. Parker. They're going to win the league is the cry at Old Trafford. If they do, it will be for the 8th time in 11 seasons since the start of the Premiership. Liverpool had a similar period of domination through the mid-70s to the late 80s. There will be an 8th winners' medal for Ryan Giggs if that happens, equaling Phil Neal and Alan Hansen from that Liverpool era. It's astonishing. Andy just is shaking his head in admiration here. One to be proud of, Mr. Graham.
I was chuffed with one, I have to say.
You should be chuffed with one. Let's see, multiply that by 8. But I think all the lads who've got plenty say the first one is the best one. Maybe the 8th is better still. We'll ask Ryan if and when he gets it. Here's Van Nistelrooy.
Again, looking for the shot. Not a thought in his mind and looking for Giggs or Solskjaer. And there's really good support here. You watch Ryan Giggs, he just holds his position, edge of the box. He's there if he wants the ball rolled to him. Solskjaer coming in, back post. Not a thought in his mind.
He doesn't seem to mind too much, though, the good Solskjaer. He's a great club man, and he's now under the scrutiny of the player cam for Sky Digital viewers. Red button on the remote. Powell, who's playing ahead of Konchesky at the moment. He's been Bartlett going for the cross. Scholes. This is only might have gone to 3 at the back. Konchesky in there, Andy, I'm not sure, but certainly Powell was well forward then, and Konchesky has stayed behind him. I think the horse might have bolted though, and it's a damage limitation exercise for Charlton Athletic. Further damage maybe to come though. John O'Shea.
Oh, that's good play from Parker. He certainly hasn't given it up, Scott Parker. That's a certainty. Oh, I think for Alan, obviously at this scoreline, it's worth having a look at something else. Certainly a manager who's quite happy to shift it from 4 to 3 at the back.
Giggs didn't do much more than distract, but it was a major distraction. No one quite reacting in the red behind him. Anyone darting in there would have just had an empty net to knock it into.
Yeah, it don't come much better than that for delivery, I have to say. And that goes across 5 yards from goal. No more than chest height. You expect somebody to be getting on the end of it.
Let's go back to the goalkeepers. Roy Carroll, one of 9 used by Manchester United since Peter Schmeichel retired. That's 4 seasons. 9 different goalkeepers. And Ricardo, the Spanish international, have backed up Barthez for most of this season.
I don't think what's helped Fabian Barthez an awful lot, Martin, is the fact that the amount of times he's had to be substituted during games. I think a lot of people have made mention of that.
9 times in the last 2 seasons.
It's an awful lot for a goalkeeper.
Probably that fitness query has worked against him as much as anything. Jens. Still more than a quarter of the game to go. Charlton labouring 4-1 down. Sylvestre. Might be seeing 1 or 2 Olays to come. Scholes beautifully found by Beckham. Solskjaer to his right. Pass came early. Solskjaer sets the sights. Well claimed by Kylie.
Lovely break, good strike, good goalkeeping. All round good football. They don't get close enough. Look at the space they've got to work the ball now, Manchester United, Martin. Acres and acres there. And they pick the right ball. Will he go across the goalkeeper like he should? He does. But Dean Kelly makes a really good save.
How about that from John O'Shea to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Not quite for Van Nistelrooy. It's got the applause ringing around Old Trafford again. I'd love to just have a spell where they could keep the ball, Charlton, for a minute or 2. Manchester United not letting up, just as they have not let up in their desire to regain the championship. Fischer-Chef. Lisby. A little bit of contact there by John O'Shea. A suspicion of a handball as well. 20 minutes gone in the second half. And Nistelrooy scored again. Charlton looking.
It checks up the ball. You can see it brushes the shoulder. I certainly don't think that would have been as harsh as the one first half if it had been given against Parker.
Really appeal as mightily. Yeah. As maybe they would have done at the Valley. Brown. He did well under some pressure then, Jensen. Can make the decoy run. Ewell, oh, he could have turned. There's a little bit of space for Ewell. His head up, and he goes to Scholes. Powell. 14 had stayed up. It was Bartlett, in fact, the one you'd expect going for the header, who played the balls.
And that's a proverbial goal's head. Out of danger there.
O'Shea. Rio Ferdinand, like Ruud van Nistelrooy, looking for a first trophy with Manchester United. Solskjaer. Scholes had checked out. Nobody had picked him up on the edge of the area. His favoured positions from which he can be so devastating. Players have gone into the dressing room to have a word with the manager. They are all coming out to say their farewells for this season. I understand Sir Alex going to get on the mic himself. Giggs nearly for Keane. Hasn't scored this season. Giggs chasing back.
That's what you can't buy. That's what people forget about what makes top-class footballers different, Martin. It's not only they have ability, but it's the willingness to work and work and work.
And the standards have been set by this generation. We mentioned it last week. You add Roy Keane to that, who's been here a long time as well. For Ron and company, the newcomers, they have to live up to that work ethic. And Paul's goals, if you didn't hear the earlier news, he's been sick yesterday. He was still feeling rotten overnight. They thought they were going to leave him out, but he's put together a splendid shift for 3/4 of the game. And now yet again he hides from the cameras. That's the other thing that's typical of him. But Veron is on, and that I think will help Charlton in any way. Giggs. Francesco to Powell, and this change by Alan Coventry. It's got Lisby into a striking role. Ewell trying to support two now from midfield. Having a go still, Charlton, why not? Ewell. Giggs, Van Nistelrooy, here's Veron. First contribution from him. Good defending in numbers. Lisby. Breathing fire around Jensen. He fair to Klaus Jensen, he stood his corner. Mark Horsey has kept up with the play, made sure that the ball was played. Powell. You're making a dart through the centre. Powell needs someone to come short to help him. And because that didn't happen, he's got a free kick out of it. Against West Brown.
I think Sir Alex will want this team to finish big, Martin. I don't think they'll want to just see this game drift to. It's a fine result, but at 4-1 with what there was a half hour to go in this match, I think they will have hoped that his side could go on and get at least one more.
Just in by Jensen. Kishishev. He's scored a couple of goals this season. His first two for the club. Cross, but a good claim at the highest point by Roy Carroll. Out to Beckham. Solskjaer on the sprint. Just needs to be played in here. But he doesn't go for goal. Parker gets a challenge in. Back with Beckham. Charlton have got their numbers back. Parker's there again. Chance. Veron. Keane. Have a crack. Have a crack.
Oh, what a save. I think he's happy it's right at him. There's some venom in this. Everyone stands back. Go on, run forward. Nobody goes to close him down. There was real power in the shot. Straight down the goalkeeper's throat.
Fischer-Chef is coming off. And Jose Sankofa makes his Premiership debut, but not his Old Trafford debut. He was here in the semi-final of the Youth Cup. Charlton gave Manchester United a very good game over the two legs of the competition. United went on to knock them out and win the trophy, which was paraded earlier today. 18 years old, of Jamaican origins.
I think that's good management. The team are losing 4-1. They're not going to get back into it. They've obviously got high hopes for the lad, and they've just gone, Alan's just gone, okay then, on you go. Have a little sample of Old Trafford, what it's really like when it's full against the top players, some of them in the world, certainly in the country.
Yeah, and your first job is to mark David Beckham, who's over here.
That's only because he's taking the corner. Yeah, it'll be Giggs in a minute.
But it doesn't just give Sankofa a lift, it gives the whole youth academy a focal point to say, well, if you do well, Charlton will give you a chance. You can play in our first team. It isn't the case at all the clubs. It's very hard for that Youth Cup winning team, for Manchester United, to break into this group. Silvestre. Keane. Van Nistelrooy. Brown backed up by Beckham. A deliberately crafted pass to Keane, and they went 2 against 1 against Sankofa. He's repositioned. Is in there to help him. Keane still finds O'Shea.
Pleasing on the eye.
Perron. Sankofa got a touch to force it forward.
Well, I know Van Nistelrooy's going to get all the headlines, Mark, but I think Roy Keane's been an absolute giant today. An absolute giant.
Ewell. Jensen. On to Sankofa. Young. Franceschi. Jensen. There's a little bit of kick ball here by Charlton, which they'll be pleased about.
It's possession without penetration at the moment.
Parker still making his challenges. Ewell.
I don't think this result changes anything as far as the title race is concerned, Mark. I can't believe that Arsene Wenger and his team wouldn't have thought Manchester United would win this today. So I think pre-match and after-match, they still know what's required, Arsenal, and that's 3 victories out of 3.
O'Shea. Biggs. Nistelrooy trying to climb, but Franceschi was around him to make it difficult for him. And Manchester United are going to shuffle their pack. Nicky Butt, Diego Forlan. Solskjaer comes off. The 1. Ryan Giggs is the other.
I think what Manchester United will do is just narrow it a bit in midfield because of Charlton. and just push Veron. It looks like Veron's instructions were to just push ahead of both Keane and Butt and be a goal threat, along with Forlan and Beckham, I think, in support of Van Nistelrooy.
Well, Jason Newell hasn't been able to help Charlton's cause too much. Been difficult for his team here, and that has not been able to help the team that he supported as a boy, Arsenal. Chris Bart-Williams is Newell's replacement. But looking ahead now to Arsenal tomorrow, and they've got their games, as you said. The difference here, we have got Butt on and Veron on, and Arsenal are struggling to get an 11 out with Vieira, Campbell, Ljungberg, Lauren, all members of their first choice 11.
I think that's
not
fair.
Available tomorrow.
But Manchester United would probably point out to the earlier part of the season when many of their players were out, but the young lads that came in did a job, got results when it mattered, just kept them in touch basically. And Arsenal have to rely on that. But the one thing I think Arsene Wenger and his players need to do is make Manchester United win it on the pitch. By that I mean win both their games that they have in hand coming up tomorrow and on Wednesday, and say to Alex Ferguson's side next weekend, go on then, you've got to go and beat Everton if you want to win the title. And I think that's important from Arsenal's point of view, that they take it that far.
Later today, Southampton against Bolton. That's a pay-per-view offering from the Premier League Premiership Plus Channel 433 at 5. Well, Sir Alex says he's not going to watch. He's got a grandson's birthday party, is it, to go to? But I'm sure many millions of you will be watching Arsenal against Leeds. Sky Sports 1, 3:30. Arsenal have to win, just to remind you of the mathematics of it. If Arsenal fail to win tomorrow, and assuming that there's not going to be a miraculous comeback from Charlton here, and that will mean paradise regained as far as the Premiership is concerned for Manchester United FC. Bartlett, backed up by Lisby. Brown with him. Talk about Wes Brown maybe not being the best crosser of the ball, but he's got speed over the deck, and Lisby is quick.
I think he's got all that.
Get away.
And certainly it's something that if Wes is going to play full-back, Martin, that he will work on. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Manchester United will work in his service from wide areas.
Well, even Ryan Giggs has had to work on that.
Yeah, absolutely. His job done. I mean, for the last month, you and I have arrived at games where Manchester United have Arsenal have taken part in, and it's been winning football they've been asked to play. Not so much with the swagger or the style, but to win the match. And to be honest, Manchester United have done both. They've won with style, with a swagger, where Arsenal have just a bit held on.
So Kofa coming in from the opposite flank. He will enjoy this last 10 minutes. I'm not sure I can say the same about his teammates, for whom it's been hard going. I think Charlton came here really expecting that. They wanted to give a good account of themselves. They know the stakes are high for Manchester United today, and Manchester United, when the pressure is on, invariably deliver. And as that scoreline suggests, they have done here. It's been pretty easy game for Mark Horsey to handle. He's penalised Jensen on this occasion.
Yeah, I think he's done pretty well all season, Mark Horsey, Mark. I think he's been one of the Premiership's top refs this year.
He's from the south, but he's based very close to Old Trafford these days in the Bolton area. Here's Butt. Keane looking for a first goal of this season. Lisby making Silvestre keep on his toes to the last. The French defender does very well He's never let Manchester United down this season. Forlan. Van Nistelrooy. Beckham, shaped for the first time cross. He cuts it back in turn to Butt. Forlan. Hasn't scored since that very significant now late winner against Chelsea. What about the 2 goals he got at Anfield as well? We always tend, when the season's coming to an end, to look back with the wisdom of hindsight. So yeah, if that hadn't happened, and obviously Manchester United are holding up the Premiership trophy shortly, then we will take those occasions into account. Just as Arsenal will, the sending off of Sol Campbell by the man in green here today. Look at the space for Roy Keane. Pick your spot. Well, if it was a long way away from the goal. Well, they're breaking all records, aren't they? 67,721. I think that's 15 more than the previous record that they've squeezed in. And with this kind of support and the financial backing it brings, very hard for the rest to keep pace. No wonder Arsenal need a new stadium. Jonathan Johansson, the Finn, who's had a blonde rinse and looks more like a Swede.
Right, Scandinavian anyway. We'll take that.
Bartlett's still out there. And this large gathering in support of Manchester United are in very fine voice with 6 minutes to go. But to Veron, to Forlan, the 3 substitutes. A little triangle there. And Palsy says no for Nick. There's an ear bent by Beckham.
How much of the ball is Roy Keane had today, Mark? Every time you try and play a passer, and attack needs broken down, he just seems to be there just to get it, give it simple.
This is interesting. When he's there, he always gets the ball. Beckham's in that position at the moment. He's had to wait, and finally he does get it from Keane himself. And here's Forlan. Overall, diving in was Diego Forlan. It then strikes O'Shea. Said he was going to get a goal one or another.
Well, they will. I mean, it's the one thing if you look at Manchester United defensive players. Brown hasn't got a league goal. Ferdinand hasn't got a league goal. O'Shea hasn't got a league goal. Sylvester, the only one with 1 league goal.
Yeah, but that was a winning goal against Leeds United here. Again, at a time where they were closing the gap, weren't they? And when we talk about important moments in the season, he caught out the team then managed by Terry Venables, didn't there, with some very quick thinking to nip in decisively. So he's had his moment. We will see Leeds tomorrow, now managed by Peter Reid. The events of this afternoon will tell you how important that game at Highbury will be for Leeds United. For Manchester United, it's time to relax and enjoy the last few moments here as the rain comes down.
It'll be a booking if
Roy comes down.
Yeah, it's a real clattering from behind.
John Fortune has come forward to accept his punishment, which might include an acerbic comment or two from the Manchester United captain.
The tackle from behind, he's got the ground. Everything that suggests the card's going to be yellow.
Of course, we've had campaigns, Andy, to stamp that tackle out with red cards, haven't we? Never quite got down to that being the rule, though it might just be in the laws. Anyway, it's yellow for Fortune. It's Beckham. And Fortune in front of the man that he's just felled. To head away. Brown. Ferdinand. But Manchester United followers would love one final goal here to sum up the afternoon, really. Van Nistelrooy and Parker still, as you've said once or twice already today, and fighting to the end.
Yeah, well, I've mentioned his growing reputation. Certainly done nothing today to harm it.
Always a downside, but they're far bigger than any individual, and Gary Neville, who is a great club man, will know that. That foot damaged again, that original injury at the back end of last season. And he's got plenty of time in the summer to recover, though it will mean him missing out for England, who have 3 games to come. Rio Ferdinand will know only too well. Mark Williams impedes him. I wonder whether Scott Parker might get in a squad in those games. David Beckham is suspended, of course, from England's next competitive game. The only one competitive game in that 3. The last of the 3. William involved in the 2 in South Africa and at home to Serbia and Montenegro. We'll find out shortly, I suppose. Here's Forlan. Sankofa did well. Not an easy ball to defend. Veron. O'Shea. Keeps chasing. He knew that, particularly with the extra rain on the surface, it would stay in. They still want goal number 5, Manchester United. They have a corner. They have a minute. Not too much, I don't think, cause for time added on.
Well, I don't see the fourth official going anywhere near a board.
But we've had substitutions, isn't it? It's supposed to be part of
30 seconds a substitute.
Let's not be picky. Silvestre. He just got a bit too much on it. Anything less than a Forlan might have knocked it in, or a forehead of somebody else. Here's Johansson, who's playing a cameo role today, and it's his 100th Charlton appearance. Not quite measured in the same way that Van Nistelrooy has done for Manchester United. A hat-trick for him. Manchester United have made sure that Arsenal have absolutely no margin for error. United's 24th win of their Premiership campaign. Their lead is enormous for the penultimate Saturday of the season, 8 points. Arsenal play twice before United finish off at Everton. They have to win twice as Manchester United say their Old Trafford farewells for this season. We are heading for Highbury. Manchester United 4, Charlton 1.
It's 14 wins from 17 games. They're unbeaten this calendar year. 45 points taken from 51 available. 8 wins from their last 9. 24 goals from their last 7 games. It's an extraordinary run, just at the right time, again. Now Quinn and Brian Robson are here. 8 points, Brian, the gap. Arsenal's response has to be a win, or the trophy comes back to Old Trafford.
Yeah,
the odds on that are what?
Manchester United, they've done their job. They've put all the pressure on Arsenal. Not just in that they've got to win the games, but now they've got to score goals as well to win those games.
A hat-trick for Ruud van Nistelrooy in his 100th appearance for the club. Birthday present for David Beckham. We thought they might go and then return to say thank you and goodbye to Old Trafford for this season, but it looks like they are staying before taking their leave full-time today. Niall Quinn, sum up what Manchester United have done in the last couple of weeks.
Well, it's been since Christmas. They played poorly at Middlesbrough and Boxing Day, but since then they just sort of got the bit between the teeth and decided, OK, it's time we won a trophy. Bad year last year. Sir Alex Ferguson, I can't believe people were questioning him here. Loyal Man United supporters that the shareholders do. Their once-a-year meeting where they were questioning why he'd stayed on for another year. And look at them now, they'll all probably wave at him and say, brilliant, Sir Alex, stay another year or two. It's been awesome what they've done. And you know, personally speaking, I used to play down the road here at Man City, and we almost had a duty to dislike them, but you can't come here and watch class like that and dislike them, and I have to say it was a pleasure to watch that performance today.
Collectively, and that individually from Ruud van Nistelrooy.
And the man who's made it all possible, the manager of Manchester United, Sir Alex Ferguson.
Thank you. Normally, for the last home match of the season, the players do the lap of honour. But at this moment in time, we don't think that's important. What is important is next Sunday at Goodison Park. But on behalf of all the players and my staff, I thank you for the magnificent support you've given us all season. You've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you. And the players and staff have been fantastic for us. Give them a big round of applause. Well done.
Once again, Old Trafford, the players really appreciate your fantastic support.
Sir Alex Ferguson says thank you and goodbye to Old Trafford for this season. It's Goodison Park next, their last port of call for this season. Barclaycard Premiership looks like that. Manchester United, 8 points clear. Arsenal have 2 games in hand. They have to win them both. It's as simple as that in order to take